Guys, welcome back to another live stream with My Wildlife Homesteading. We are just going to be doing the dishes and hanging out today. My wife and kids are out doing some extracurriculars. They're out at the ski hill skiing and snowboarding. I got home late from work, and so I figure might as well put some eggs away and do some dishes so that when they come home, the house is just spick and span ready to go. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Let me just turn this guy back on. I don't know why it turned off, but that's okay. There we go. And there we go. Anyway, we're just hanging out. We're going to do some dishes and just chill and chat. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, by all means, let me hear it. If you couldn't tell by my nice swaggy little hat, YouTube sent me a hat, and I dig it. I dig it. I also got a blanket from them. So one thing I didn't know when I first started creating YouTube videos and making some content is that YouTube does have little programs and things to try to support creators. We're not all left to our own devices. Yeah, they do little community giveaways and challenges and stuff. So I think for this hat, how you doing, Darlene? For this hat, I had to post, I think it was 14 days in a row back in October, and they sent me a hat. And I'm actually in another YouTube program right now, which is about channel memberships. And so, like I said, we're just going to hang out and do the dishes. But if there's anything you guys want to talk about, by all means, I am here to chat. So yeah, the blanket's pretty swaggy too. I've been sleeping with that one, but and then I guess in a couple months I'll get another thing. I don't know what yet. I'm kind of hoping it's a YouTube sweater. I feel like a YouTube sweater would be pretty cool. Lately, I've been getting a lot more into ice fishing. I've never really enjoyed ice fishing in the past. I'm more of an active fisherman. I like to try different spots, scan the water, and just cast, retrieve, and stay busy. But I recently found a pretty cool spot for ice fishing, and my son pulled out a 30-inch walleye, which for walleye is massive. Like the biggest I've ever heard of was a 32-inch walleye. So this thing was big. It was like 12 pounds. Monster fish. And one of the benefits to living so remote in the middle of nowhere is that the fishing is fantastic because there's just not a lot of people out there. And T-Bone, how you doing? I am doing pretty good, my man. We're just hanging out, chatting, doing the dishes. My wife and kids are at the ski hill, the closest ski hill here. It's like an hour away. And yeah, they're out enjoying the cold. And T-Bone says, new hat, did YouTube send that to you? Yes, they did. So that is something that I had no idea YouTube did, is they have these different programs where creators can earn or be gifted different swag. So I have a YouTube blanket as well. So I've got this YouTube hat, YouTube blanket, and they're going to be sending me something else. It's pretty cool. I had no idea. I mean, I knew once you became partner, you'd get ad revenue, but I didn't know about the extra programs that YouTube provides. So it's pretty cool. And Noble Elite says, watching from Nigeria, bro. How you doing, buddy? If anyone wants to talk YouTube, anyone wants, if you've ever thought about doing YouTube, I've been doing it now for 2 years. Still hobby level, but I do make money. I am monetized. And if you guys have any questions, I love talking YouTube, and I'm more than willing to share anything that I know. And FYI, I'm Tommy from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I recently changed my YouTube handle. In case you didn't recognize me, I also changed my profile picture too. Well, Tommy, you're absolutely right. I did not recognize the name at first. YouTube tries to mess us up because it flips back and forth between showing us your handles and your usernames. They experiment here and there. But yeah, Noble, I'm an off-grid homesteader. So I actually live in the middle of nowhere in northern Canada, and I live off-grid. I have a wife and 5 children. We have donkeys, cows, ducks, rabbits, chickens. We did pigs. We're going to do more pigs. So we're doing a little bit of everything. Like I said, we also live off-grid. So if at any point during this live stream, the power goes out or I cut out, just give it a second to refresh because that's off-grid living, especially in the winter. How you doing, Rye Whiskey? Wow. We're just hanging out, doing some dishes and chatting, talking YouTubing, homesteading, living off-grid. Like I said, I recently found a really cool spot for ice fishing. I need to give myself better access though. So my property here, it's a peninsula. Water goes all the way around. I've got 156 acres. And to get to this ice fishing spot, I need to skidoo around it's about 20 minutes to get to this spot. But if I were to cut a straight path through my property, I could get there from the property in about 2 minutes. So instead of having to go all the way around and get to it, I could just cut straight through. And when you're out on the open lake, that's the hardest part. That's the coldest part of the skidoo ride, especially the other day. The wind was howling. It was like minus 30 out there. My poor kids, I turned them into popsicles. Again, this is the second time I've turned my kids into popsicles, taking them out ice fishing. The actual ice fishing is fine. I've got a little tent. You stay inside, you stay warm enough. But it's the travel to and from that is freezing. And Noble says, I am a carpenter. That's awesome. I love working with wood as well. As a homesteader, it's a very valuable skill. You're always building outbuildings, barns, and sheds, coops, fencing. So carpentry is muchos grandes. And do you hunt? Absolutely. Sorry, Rye. I am a hunter. I do hunt for large game and small game. Around here, it's white-tailed deer mostly. And T-Bone, and Katrina says hi, and T-Bone says, so my YouTube name is Tommy Benson. My handle is @T-Bone. T-Bone is my nickname. Most people call me Tommy, but a few call me T-Bone. And Gage says, bro, you're handsome. Thank you. And Katrina, I see you there. How you doing? And Gage says, I am subscribing. Rye says, do you hunt? I think I just answered that, but if you want me to go into more detail, I absolutely can. Hester's in the chat saying, watching from Ohio. How you doing, Hester? And Hester, you're saying you're in Ohio, but your name is Hester England. Or were you from England? And Gage says, same, I'm from Ohio, but northern. And Noble says, I just subscribed. Well, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. And if any of you guys have any aspirations to be YouTubers or do YouTube, and you want to talk about it, let me know. Let me know. I absolutely love just talking YouTube, what works, what doesn't work. And yeah, it's an awesome way to engage with other people. I love these live streams. We get to have these one-on-one conversations. And your name, Timo? My name? My name's Justin, by the way. And T-Bone says, explaining your property is very fascinating. I love to live remote like you. But then again, easy for me to say living at the city slicker lifestyle. And what's your favorite fish to catch? Favorite fish to catch? I lean towards northern pike or muskies, muskellunge. They put on a ferocious fight for the first few minutes, and they're usually massive. We're talking 6-foot fish, and so they're just fun to catch. Crappie are good little fighters. Walleye just taste delicious. And T-Bone says, so I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia, 15 to 20 minutes from Philadelphia. If I drove 2 to 3 hours west, I could find land very similar to yours in rural central Pennsylvania. Maybe someday I'll do it. I recommend it. I love living out here. The added bonus is that I live on a lake. So that's up here in northern Canada. It's really easy to find land. It's really hard to find large properties on the water. I got really lucky with this one. Managed to find it. It was actually kind of a gem based out of COVID, because there were I'm up here in northern Canada, and there were some Americans that own this place. But unfortunately, the government's locked down the borders and stuff. So they were older and they weren't able to come out here for a few years. And they just decided it wasn't worth keeping it. And so they sold it. And I was in the market. So that was awesome for me. Do you eat goat or antelope? I do raise goat on my homestead. And we do eat them when, we primarily raise them for dairy and for breeding. But when you have surplus males that you can't rehome, you eat them. No antelope up here. There's white-tailed deer, though. And Katrina says, nice to meet you, Justin. Nice to meet you, too. Katrina. And T-Bone says, you don't look like anything like the Canadians from South Park. Bah! And Weston is in the chat. How you doing, Weston? I see you there. And Hester says, no, not from England. I was born in Kentucky. And Weston says, can we be friends? Weston, we're already friends, my man. I see you there. Rye says, do you have any snakehead fish? I don't know what a snakehead fish is, but unless you're referring to a northern pike, maybe you're referring to one of the an eel, a lamprey or something. But no snakehead fish. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to say we don't. And Lily, I see you trying to screen grab me over there. I see what you're doing. And Weston says, what's your name? Weston, it's Justin. We've hung out lots on live stream, my man. I remember you. I was able to live stream a lot more in the fall, but in the winter, it's a little tougher. It's like minus 35 out there right now. It's dark, it's cold. And so usually I like to live stream when I'm out with the animals, hanging out in the farm, doing farm chores. But when it's dark like this, trying to juggle a light, headlights, the tripod, do the animal chores, freeze your hands off, it is tricky business. And can I meet your dog? She's outside. My dog is actually an outside dog. I have the farm here, and so she's out there kind of on guard protecting the animals. And I'm not going outside right now. And T-Bone says, I've never had goat before, but I'd be intrigued to try it. I love venison and duck. I think duck is underrated meat. Chicken is overrated. Delicious as can be, but overrated in my opinion. I agree. Duck is like the dark meat of a turkey, the whole thing. It's just delicious. And T-Bone says, we understand, Justin. Yeah, so I would say rabbit is also very good. We do raise meat rabbits on the homestead. Rabbits are delicious. Again, it's like a dark meat, the whole thing. Good lean protein. Nothing to complain there. But lately I've been doing a lot of ice fishing, and so I certainly enjoy that. And Jeremy says, you remind me of Colin Hanks. I said that slowly in case that was supposed to come off sounding like a gotcha. I don't know who that is. I do not know who that is. You always got to be careful when you're reading messages on live stream. You never know when you're going to get screen grabbed saying something hilarious. And so, yeah, we're just going to keep plugging away at the dishes. But like I said, he's an actor, Tom Hanks' son. I didn't know Tom Hanks' son acted. That's pretty cool. And can I meet your goat? You know what, Weston? Maybe towards the end of this live stream, when I'm done all the dishes, I can go outside with the animals. But I'll be honest, it's like minus 35 out there Celsius, same as Fahrenheit. It's freezing, and I don't really want to go outside today. It is so cold out there. Maybe, but it is cold. And Splodgy says, I went fishing with a rod and a net. How are Rod and Annette? Are they doing well? And T-Bone says, the reason why I call chicken overrated is because it's so common that I eat it all the time that I get sick of it. You know what I mean? I hear you. It's a nice thing about having the homestead. You do get a little more diversity in your meals. You get to pick whether you're going to be having pork or beef, whether you want to have venison, fish, all of that stuff. How is my wife? My wife is doing well. She actually took our kids to the ski hill, even though it's freezing cold. I don't know how they're going to do today, but yeah. T-Bone says, ever been ice fishing? Yes. My last live stream was actually while I was ice fishing, and I did catch one on live stream. And my thumbnail is actually a 30-inch walleye that we pulled out of the lake in that same spot. So I encourage you at the very least to check out the thumbnail from my last live stream. I don't remember if I made it members only. I don't think I did. And yeah, I encourage you to check that out because that fish was a monster, an absolute monster. 12 pounds, 30 inches, just a beast. Trying to pull that through the ice, its head was as big as my hole. Massive. My auger is a 6-inch hole, and when I measured the thickness of that fish, it had its girth was like 5.5 inches. It almost didn't fit through the hole. I had to pull it through by hand. And Mohammed, how are you doing today? Texas Gal Farm Life. How you doing? I see you there. T-Bone says, I love pork chops. I'm the type of guy who, if I ever go to a restaurant and I see pork chops on the menu, which isn't common, I always order it. I'm assuming you meant menu. And Mohammed says, how are the goats? The goats are doing well, except I apparently don't know how to tell if my goat is ready to have a baby or not. Oreo had her babies. I looked at her. I said, she's going to have these like today or tomorrow. That night, she had the babies. My other goats, like a month ago, I said, any day now. Still not. This has been over a month and they still haven't had their babies. They're looking bigger every day. But soon we're going to have more baby goats on the homestead. Like I said, any day. And Weston says, Justin, I have a question. Let's hear it. And T-Bone says, I love fishing, but I don't know if I could ever go ice fishing. I'm a baby when it comes to the cold. I hate and despise the cold with a passion. That's normally how I am. Normally I don't like ice fishing, but I found a really cool spot. I've been hammering them there, been doing really well. I did bite the bullet and I spent $500 on a ice fishing tent, and so it's a lot warmer. And I can at least appreciate it a little more. Here, so one of the things I do, so when I catch the fish, I've been vacuum sealing it, and dating it. So this was July 11th. I got a perch and some walleye in here. And so the vacuum sealer is just minty when it comes to identifying your fish, because you can pack way more in there and still be able to count. Up here, there's certain rules around conservation where you have what's called a possession limit. And so you're only allowed to have 4 fish, whether that's on you while you're fishing or at home in your freezer. You're still only allowed 4. Now, it's per person. So with my kids and my wife, I'm allowed like 24 fish. But you still need to pay attention. This is vacuum sealed so that I can freeze it without it going bad or getting freezer burnt. So you do have to know how many fish are in your freezer. If you're going to be saving them like that, you need to know how much you have, because you can get in a lot of trouble if you have too many. And Darlene says July or January. That was all from just last week, January. T-Bone says, bro, you live in northern Canada. I could never deal with that weather. I have a hard time dealing with the cold in southeast Pennsylvania. What temperature is it there, Tommy? Would you rather me call you Tommy or T-Bone? Up here, it's like minus 30 with the wind chill right now. It's pretty cold. It's supposed to warm up, I think, tomorrow and the next day, and then we're stuck in the cold for a while. And Alaska Critter Cam in the chat. Critter Cam says, hey, everyone, long time no see. How are you doing, buddy? It has been a hot minute. I haven't been able to live stream as frequently lately. But YouTube sent me some cool swag, so that's cool. I also have an awesome blanket. I want to go get it and show you guys in a second. And Tommy or T-Bone is fine. Either will work for me. Hypothermia in 5 minutes. Your skin gets a little tougher up here. You dress for it. Like I could probably last, I can last a good hour out there at minus 30. But when you're skidooing across the lake and the wind is just cutting through you, my fingertips were numb all day today from fishing yesterday. Let me grab my blanket for 1 second, guys. Check out this bad boy. So not only did YouTube send me a hat, they sent me this fancy dancy YouTube blanket. Look at that. We're right there. There we go. So not only did they send me a hat, they sent me this fancy blanket. They must have known it's cold up here in Canada. But yeah, I find that pretty cool that YouTube will send you swag. I had no idea. I didn't know YouTube swag was a thing until I got some. But yes, YouTube blanket. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And Mohammed says, strong man. And Splodger says, how close is your nearest neighbor? My nearest neighbor is about 3 miles, and then there's no one else around. So it's just the 2 of us in this area. And then you got to travel probably a good half hour before you find someone else. And even then, it's like the odd place here and there. Up here in northern Canada, the properties are very large and far and few between. So it's really spread out. And Tommy says, nice blanket. That's awesome. It looks super warm. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And Hester says, nice blanket. I'm proud of the YouTube swag. It's pretty cool. I like it. And is your neighbor a subscriber? Apollo and Layla. Steven, how you doing, buddy? I don't think my neighbor knows that I do YouTube. I haven't told them. I'm going to assume that they don't know. I do find it funny. So I live in a small community, and well, near a small community. And the algorithm does a pretty good job of putting people in your general geographic who might be interested in your content. You know, send your videos out. And I've had random people in town say, hey, I saw you online the other night. And like people I've met a couple times. And then, yeah, it's funny seeing a bunch of my friends, they'll subscribe, they'll comment on videos just because YouTube sends it out there. I don't really talk about it too much, but YouTube does its thing. And I'm coming there in the summer, mate. The summer is a lot more enjoyable than the winter. Even though up here in Northern Canada, people just assume it's cold all the time. Our summers are really hot. The reason it's so cold in the winter is because the way as the Earth is spinning around the sun, it's angled so that in the winter we're up here, but in the summer, we're actually getting a lot more sunlight. So it's kind of one of those things where our days get very long in the summer and very hot because we get so much access to the sun. So yeah, it's kind of a misconception that it's always cold up here. But our winters, like right now, they're nasty. They're nasty. I've had my pipes freeze twice on me this year. Thankfully, last year when it happened, I did some adjustments to my plumbing to make it very quick to thaw them out. But it happens. I have heat trace cable, but I can't leave it on all the time because I live off grid, and then my generator would just be running all the time. So yeah. And then I do have solar. But up here in Northern Canada, your solar just, there's no sun, so you're not going to generate that much solar. And Mom says, now I'm hibernating. And Tommy says, do you follow WWE? A wrestler, Brock Lesnar, during COVID, bought property in Maryland, Saskatchewan, Canada. He lives very remote like you. He went up there to hunt. So I know who Brock Lesnar is from the OG UFC days, when he was one of the top heavyweight champion. Don't really follow WWE. I know about it mostly, honestly, because of the Logan Paul thing. So I know about WWE, but I don't watch it. But yeah, like I said, access to large land up here is quite accessible. And have you heard of Hank Snow? I have not. Who is Hank Snow? And Muhammad says, Earth twists a little bit. Yep. It makes our summers hot and our winters cold, and the fall and spring are way too short. Our growing season is pretty tough here. You're stuck, like you got to wait until the end of May to plant your vegetables, and you got to harvest in September. And so, our growing season is just so short. So short. And Matiko Dillard says, here's a famous old country singer from up there in Northern Canada. And Tommy says, Brock Lesnar tells a story about how he went up to Canada to hunt, fell in love with it, then became a citizen so he could buy property, since Canada requires citizenship to own land. That is a misnomer. We don't require citizenship to own land. In fact, we have a lot of foreign investment buying our land. It's one of the problems that makes our property, like our property just is all through the roof because of foreign investment. The people who owned this property before me were American citizens. The thing is, you can't live up here for more, like you have to spend, you can only live up here for 6 months less a day if you're not a citizen. But Americans, Chinese, East Indian, you name it, you can buy property up here in Canada. Happy Chickens joins the chat. Guys, if you want to see some chicken live streams, go check out Happy Chickens. How are you doing? Good evening. Tommy says, but he still owns property in the U.S., where he is a natural-born citizen of. Ibrahim, welcome back to the chat. I see you there. And Splodger says, why did YouTube send you those things? So YouTube sent me this hat and this blanket. And I've got another thing coming. Basically, they've got this initiative for smaller creators, like 1 million subscribers down, where it's called the YouTube Community Program. They have to invite you to it, so not everyone's in it. Happy Chickens, are you in the YouTube Community Program? And what they do is they'll give you different challenges. So I think for the hat, I had to post a YouTube short with the hashtag fall into shorts for 14 days in a row. And then they gave me the hat. I'm in a membership boot camp right now where they're going to send me more swag. Basically, I just have to attend these meetings, create some members only content, and get more stuff. The blanket, I forget why they sent me the blanket. It was another one. Oh, it was a meeting. I was in a meeting with YouTube, and I just had to create a YouTube short with a certain hashtag, and the first 20 people to do so got a blanket. And so I just ended the meeting and posted a short like immediately, and voila. And Happy Chicken says, no, sir. So the community program, I don't even really know how I got in the first place. They emailed me and I just said yes, and I got in. But it's just a cool program with a bunch of YouTube community partners, partner managers. And so it's just some people who work for Google who I can email them questions. They give me updates on how the content's performing, things I should try, and then different ideas, trending songs, things that I can do. And Apollo and Layla says, I'll give you $20 for the hat. Steven, you were or are in the program, aren't you? Do you just not find it worth your time to do the stuff? Like, I think were you in the partner program? I think the partner program's awesome. My wife, I was so proud when I got the hat. My wife was like, you could have probably just bought one for like $20 online. And I was like, yeah, but that's not the point. The point is that they sent it to me. Tommy says, two questions. One, how close do you live to Merrifield, Saskatchewan, Canada? And where in Canada is Merrifield, Saskatchewan, Canada? I don't fully know where Maryland is, but Saskatchewan, I'm probably about 17 hours away, around there. And Ibrahim says, so basically the side quests we get in games. Basically, and some of them are harder than others. The one to get the hat was actually pretty hard. Posting 14 shorts 14 days in a row. I'm not a regular shorts poster. I post more now because it kind of gets you in the habit, and that's the point of it. They're trying to build habits. But that one was a bit of work. And Steven says, I think I still am, because I get the emails. Back in the day, I got a robe. You're just too busy to participate in the community program, or you don't find it's worth it, or why don't you still participate in it? I'm hoping I get like a sweater or a t-shirt next. I want to complete the ensemble. It's kind of awkward walking around with the towel around you trying to show off your YouTube swag. The current one that I'm in, Stephen, is a membership boot camp. So it's all about talking about how to get more members, paying members, the benefits of it, some of the new features they're rolling out, that kind of stuff. And Derico, I see you there, says, you ever go ice fishing? My last live stream last week was during ice fishing, and I plan to do some more of those. I just need the weather to warm back up. We're in a bit of a cold snap right now. It's like minus 30, super cold. I was ice fishing yesterday with my kids. It was a little nasty on the skidoo ride home. 20 minutes in the howling wind at minus 30 was not fun for any of us. My fingertips were numb and vibrating all day today. Minor frostbite. Where's the dog? My dog's outside right now. She was barking at a fox or something. And do you live in a different state than Saskatchewan? I live in a different province. So up here, our states are called provinces. I'm in Ontario. So I'm a couple provinces over. And, sorry, provinces is what I meant to say. And Splodger says, do you have one of those plaque things, a YouTube plaque? So I think the first YouTube plaque is at 100,000 subscribers. We're still under 3,000. So we're still playing in the rookie levels. We are monetized, so we do collect ad revenue on our videos. And super thanks and memberships, but no plaque. Steven, am I correct? Is it 100,000? Guys, while I'm talking, go check out Apollo and Layla on YouTube. He's got a banger channel, live streams frequently. I like to hang out in that community. I encourage you guys to go check it out. He is a bigger fish in the sea than I am, and it's cool to have him here. And Steven says, I should keep up with it, just slacking, honestly. I'm interested in the membership info. I'll let you know if there's anything exciting. I'll forward any information that's like groundbreaking. I know they're talking about, see, they kind of got their wires crossed a little bit because they're in competition to some regard to things like Patreon and Discord. And we have community tab, but really it should operate more like a Discord or like Patreon, where you could have different chat groups, and it's a little janky for that, but we'll see what they're introducing and what their plans are. I'll let you know if there's anything cool. And Derico says 100K, then one at 1 million, then the gold one at 5 mil. So we're just this far away. We're this far away from the 100,000. Like and subscribe, help us get there. My goal, albeit maybe a little lofty, but my goal would be to get to 10K by the end of 2026. And Apollo Elena says, true, if he becomes a real Discord-like channel, that would be awesome. Yeah, just to be able to have those, public open conversations with the audience in an easier chat room when you're not online would kind of be cool. I did have a Discord chat room that I was using for a bit, but I just found my time is spread too thin to be checking other apps to see what's going on with the community. So if you guys want to post anything on my community posts, by all means, that is one spot that we can interact. But yeah, it's just, the whole Discord thing confuses me. The only time I've really used Discord was when Midjourney was first coming out with AI art, because they used Discord to do your prompts. And beyond that, though, Discord confuses me. And Derico says, planning on getting any new animals? Yes. So currently on the homestead, we currently have 2 donkeys, 3 cows, a handful of rabbits, ducks, chickens, and my dog. And we did do pork, we did do pigs for meat. I plan in the spring to get some breeding pigs. So I want to get about 7 pigs, maybe 8, and pick the nicest 2 females and keep an intact male, use them for breeding, and then the other pigs will be for meat for friends and family. So definitely want to get bigger into pigs this year. I slowly want to keep growing my cattle herd. One of my cows is pregnant. My other 2 are heifers. So that is always on the go. What is the triangle thing? This thing? That is a dinner bell. That is a dinner bell. Like I said, I have 156 acres and I have 5 sons. So when I send the sons out to play outside and we're inside cooking, one good way to call the kids in is just open the door and ring that bell, and then all the kids come running back in. It's very Little House on the Prairie, but it works well. And Derico said, what are the advantages of having alpacas or llamas? I know it's a thing. So I believe people typically are using alpacas and llamas for the wool, for the wool. So just like sheep, you can shave them, and it's a very, very luxurious fine wool that's good for making things like socks and base coats. It's very good at wicking away moisture, and so yeah, you use it for wool. I want to say that is the primary use of those animals. I don't have time to be shearing animals and then trying to spin their hair into wool. If we ever did this thing more full time, maybe. But right now, while it's a homestead and not a farm, we're just focusing on growing the animals that provide food for the family, food for friends. And eventually we'll get to a point where we're going to have surplus. But for now, the relatively, I don't want to say passive animals, because I put about an hour a day every day into caring for the animals, 7 days a week. Obviously some days are longer, like if I'm doing a hoof shearing day, that's a full day. You know, there's certain tasks that are going to take a lot more time. When I do my spring muck outs of the barns, that's going to be less time because I bought a skid steer, but that's a day's work right there, just trying to, you know, muck all the barns and clean everything back out and whatnot. But yeah, basically every day you're going in, you're mucking out the barns, you're throwing down some fresh straw, giving a little bit of grain and protein to the animals, collecting eggs, refilling waters every morning and afternoon. I have to refill the animals' waters because up here in Canada it freezes. So just getting out there every day about an hour. But beyond that hour, the animals are relatively passive. They take care of themselves. Funny and insightful. How are you doing? Welcome back to the chat. I hope you're doing well. Guys, I encourage you to go check out Funny and Insightful's YouTube channel. He's been posting some more content lately, and I'm here for it. I love to see it. I love it when you guys get inspired to make content. And Elion, I see you there. How you doing? Splodgy says, do you have wild animals? Try and kill your animals. Yes, I've lost a couple ducks and chickens over the years to foxes. That is one of the main reasons I got the donkeys. Donkeys are good protector animals. They like to patrol the fence line, and they like to make noise when there's a threat nearby. My dog is also an outside farm dog. We call them livestock guardian dogs. So she'll get out there. The other day I did hear some coyotes out on the lake. But they were on the far side and they never crossed over. I've seen some wolf tracks in the south end of my property when I was out ice fishing the other day. So there are dangerous animals around. We've got the main ones. The foxes are, you know, they're just the sneakiest because they'll come in by themselves at night and eat their way into, you know, your coops. Haven't lost any this year. We're on it. But foxes are a pain. Coyotes and wolves, I keep my eyes open. They're out there, but hasn't been a major issue yet. And Funny and Insightful says, "Aw, thank you. How is the winter going so far?" Pretty good. We just had a bit of a warm snap where I was able to get out ice fishing. My son just caught a 30-inch walleye. Massive fish, like massive fish. Check out my thumbnail on a recent YouTube video and you'll see how big this fish was. Awesome. I'm like loving ice fishing. I've always hated it. I'm loving it now. The Goat 20066 says, "Hi, how you doing, the Goat?" And Apollo and Layla says, "Is grizzly bear anywhere near you?" No, for me, it's black bears. I'm a little bit too far south for polar bears where I am, but it is black bear country. There was actually in one of the small towns that I used to live in. Where I bought my first house, actually. This past fall, there was a woman, and her dog was barking at the front door, and she thought that meant the dog wanted to go outside. And so she went and opened the door, and there was a black bear on her porch, and it actually grabbed her, and her husband had to come and help, and both of them were hospitalized. They both survived, but major lacerations, punctured liver, no bueno. Like, they got bit and clawed at. For the most part, I have no real concern about black bears. 99% of the time, you're looking at a black bear's behind as it's running away from you. But that being said, black bear attacks do happen. So it is a concern. And then a couple times, I had one where I was hunting from a tree stand. I was bow hunting, and I'm sitting in my tree stand, and this black bear comes running past me. Alone, 1 second. I will scroll up and find you. Ale1. But I was hunting from a tree stand, and a black bear came running past me, right underneath me, just chasing whatever it was chasing. Scared the bejeebus out of me. I waited about an hour, and I gave up on hunting that day because I was like, that thing running through here probably scared everything away. I'm just wasting my time sitting in a tree. Now, Ale199 had said, "Do any of you feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again?" I feel like that's Katy Perry, right? That's got to be Katy Perry. Firework. You're feeling like a firework? And the Goat likes farting in plastic bags and smelling it. You got this, Goat. Whatever floats your boat, my Goat. And Hester says, "Have you ever eaten bear meat?" I have. I haven't harvested a bear myself, But in the area, a lot of people do, and so I get gifted bear burgers, bear steaks. The thing with bear is that you have to cook the heck out of it. So a lot of people will boil the meat and then cook it, and so you really want to marinate that in a lot of sauce. The reason for that is bears are a predator. They're also a scavenger, and so they're eating a lot of animals that have picked up parasites, and the most dangerous one that they pick up is a thing called trichinosis. And it's no joke. What trichinosis is it's parasitic worms that if you eat the meat that's undercooked and the larva is still alive, the larva will hatch inside of you and it will burrow into your muscles and it will live and die off of your flesh. And so it's not fatal, but you're going to feel very sick and weak for a long time because literally you have parasites living off of your body. So, yeah, I recommend boiling and then cooking the heck out of bear meat. It's the same with wolves. Any predator, really. If you're going to eat any predator, if you really want to eat coyote meat, bear meat, cougar meat, lynx meat, all that, cook the hay out of it because predators are full of parasites. And you can catch the parasites yourself. So, something to be aware of. And Ale One. Is that how I say your name? Ale One? Or Alion? Alion? My sister Brittany got trichinosis. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. And the goat says, oh Lord. No thank you. Ain't nobody got time for that. You're a character. You're a character. But yeah, you do have to be careful when you're eating bear meat. And if any of you guys, yeah, you said it first. You said it first, right the first time. Ale One. And guys, if any of you have any questions about making YouTube videos, or if any of you make your own videos, pitch it here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And not that I'm an expert, but we are a monetized channel, so, and I like talking about it, and we're repping the YouTube swag. So if you guys want to talk YouTube, by all means. Speaking of YouTube, Jeff VQ is in the chat, guys. Go check out Jeff's YouTube channel. Jeff is out there posting some delicious recipes. I'll be honest, I haven't tried any of them myself, but I do like to watch the videos. So guys, go check out Jeff VQ on YouTube. My wife is the cook. Not that I can't, but because I work a full-time job, I'm just not home by the time everyone's ready to eat supper. And so my wife is primarily the cook. I cook a mean fish, steak, burger. But honestly, she does better in all three. So my wife is the cook. And Jeff is my daughter. And Ale One says, lol. Jeff says, thanks for the support. I appreciate it, my friend. Anytime. I love the YouTube community. It's a lot of fun getting to meet other YouTubers and just, chat with you guys. This is the best part about live streaming, is the fact that we get to build the community, even when we got some trolling going on. The goat says, yes, I named my daughter Jeff. It's a perfect name. My name's Jeff. That is a beautiful line in a movie. What's a daughter? I believe that they are trying to use a southern accent on daughter, like son and daughter. This is my guess. And I think I'm right. And the goat says correct. Where are you from, the goat? Are you from the States? We're just chilling, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Again, for those who are new, I live off grid. This is my homestead. And Arkansas, Alabama, Arkansas. I sure love my ma and pa. Something like that. And, okay, it's daughter. I see. And Gidja says, hi from Iceland. How are you doing? Welcome to Northern Canada. Feel free to ask any questions. we are just doing the dishes, hanging out at my off-grid homestead. My wife and kids are currently in town. I imagine they'd be back within a half hour, but that I don't know. And L1 says, LMAO, my auntie order. Oh, your auntie ordered a quarter pounder from McDonald's. I actually had a double quarter pounder for dinner. I'd be repping. And Jeff says, I like your cap. Is that merch from your channel, my friend? No, this is actually YouTube. YouTube sent me this hat and this blanket. I got this hat and this YouTube as gifts from YouTube. They have a thing called the Community Partner Program, or Community Partner Program. Jeff, have you heard of that? Basically, I'm in a program with YouTube where they give me emails and updates. They send trending songs. They'll give me challenges. So, for example, to get this hat, I had to post a YouTube short with the hashtag fall into shorts for 14 days in a row. And once I did that, they mailed me this hat. And so, yeah, I do like it. I do like it, but it's not my own merch. I have a personal philosophy that I don't want to make my own merch until I get to 10,000 subscribers. So I kind of like proof is in the pudding. I want to get up to 10,000 before I actually make my own merch. But I am liking repping the YouTube hat. It's pretty swaggy. And the goat says that they love a quarter pounder. And Ale1 says, nice. I had Taco Bell. Those Baja Blast ain't nothing to play with. You know what's one of my favorite hot sauces, guys? This is local up here in Canada. This stuff here. This is Dustin Poirier's Louisiana style Creole maple. It is delicious. It's heartbeat hot sauce. This stuff, a couple drops will melt your face off, but it is so good. It is so good. My running dad joke with my wife is every time she makes a meal, I pour this on it. And every time I tell her, honey, delicious supper, but it's a little spicy. And my kids roll their eyes because hot sauce. It's a dad thing. And OMG, I should check that out. I haven't heard of it. And the goat says, yum, my dad loves those. And I bet that's good. It is delicious. And Jeff says, I'm around 5K subs now. I have merch. Are you talking about affiliate program requirements? Because that requires 10K subs for some stores. No, this is like, there's a program. See, I don't fully understand how I got into it. YouTube invited me to join what's called the YouTube Partner Community Program. And so I don't know how. Check your YouTube linked email. But at some point they invited me to it, and I accepted. And now I get emails directly from Google, from YouTube, that give me all sorts of different information. They tell me what songs are trending, video ideas that are trending, things that I should be trying on the channel. I don't do a lot of it because a lot of that stuff is like for dance videos and your really trendy videos, and I'm out here just raising goats and donkeys. But yeah, it's still cool. It still gives me little things to earn some YouTube swag straight from Google. But yeah, it's designed for YouTubers who are under 1 million subscribers, which I guess is their bar for, like, if you're a small channel, under 1 million. And that's interesting. I should check that out. Yes, I'm currently in a thing called the Membership Boot Camp. It is a 12-week program where YouTube is trying to give us different ideas, tips, tricks, and give us some inside information on the members program. Yeah, just different fun and cool stuff that you can try through YouTube. My dog is barking at something outside. Don't know if that's my wife and kids. I don't think so. It shouldn't be. I think it's too soon for it to be them. But yeah, getting the free swag is pretty cool. So I got this hat by doing those 14 YouTube shorts. I got that blanket because I was in a meeting with some people from YouTube, and they said that the first 20 people to post a video with a certain hashtag would get a gift. And so I was one of the first 20 because it was a pretty small meeting. And yeah, it was basically just a way of them seeing, are you paying attention? So it was just a quick blurb. They're like, hey, if you use this hashtag and post it, the first 20 people gonna get a gift. So that was pretty cool. And YouTube is giving us all the potential ways to earn and grow. I appreciate it a lot. Yes, one of the things I want to try. So my live streaming during the spring, summer, fall is much bigger because I think that YouTube penalizes you when you're, lighting and audio and all that's a little bit worse, which makes sense. And so up here in Northern Canada, when it's super cold and dark and windy, it's kind of hard to live stream outside. So I haven't been able to do it as much lately, but when we're really booming in like the spring, summer, fall, what I want to try, they now have a mode where you can set up vertical streaming like this and horizontal at the same time. It'll be the same chat, just two different orientations. So when people are tuning in from the desktop, they're getting the horizontal live stream. And when they're checking in from the mobile, they're going to get the vertical. The cool thing about that is you actually make some decent ad revenue when people stop in horizontal. Ad revenue for YouTube live streams is basically, it all comes afterwards. I'll make like, if I have a live stream that gets like 10,000 views, I'll make like 50 cents during the live stream. If it gets 100 views afterwards, I'll make like $1. So I make a lot more money after the live stream goes live than during the live. But during the live, you can get super chats, donations, members, and just build community. So it doesn't make a lot of money, but they're working on ways to make live streaming more profitable, which I think is cool. They're also talking about maybe doing banner ads, so little ads that play across the top. So that would also be neat. We'll see if and when they do that. And Jeff says, yes, new live updates are awesome, especially about visibility and ads. And Too Evil to Hope, welcome back to the chat, says, yeah, that's why people sell merch to make a decent money from live streams. I just personally, I don't want to try to push merch and stuff like that until I get to about 10,000 subscribers. So we're just under 3,000 right now. I would like to get to 10 by the end of this year. And of course, just wanting doesn't do it. We're working on a video series that I'm calling Forest Thoughts. That is going to be an ongoing series. I did miss this past weekend. I'm trying to release them every Sunday, but this past weekend I was just out fishing with my kids and having a good time with the family. So I just didn't get around to making a video, but I will. And Too Evil says, will you sell a fraction of your soul? Have you not seen my hat? I've already sold a fraction of my soul. And Soulja says, do you work out daily? I do try to hit the gym. However, I was going to hit the gym today while I was in a meeting with YouTube. But I wanted to focus on it, so I skipped the gym and ate a burger instead. Terrible, I know. That's the opposite of working out. What about you, Soulja? You working out? Getting ripped? I used to work out every day when I was in university, so a good 10 years ago, and I felt great. Basically, I have a bachelor's in civil engineering. I've got a degree in civil engineering. I was an engineer by trade, and in university, it's a very aggressive program where you're in school basically all day, but it's not necessarily laid out the best. So you'll have like 3 hours of classes and then 2 hours of a break and then another hour of classes and then another hour break and then another hour of class. And so during those longer 2-hour breaks, me and my buddies would go to the gym. So it was easy to stay fit during that because you had that downtime where it was not enough downtime to go home, but too much downtime to just sit around. So we used to take advantage of it. How long does winter last in Canada? Well, we normally get our first snowfall. Where I am in Northern Canada, we've got snow in mid-October, and it stays until end of April, early May. I did one live stream last year in mid-May where it was very heavily snowing. So October to May, it's like a good 6 months. It's aggressive. The peak cold, the really cold temperature is right now, January, February. So January and February is when we see minus 50 degrees Celsius. Right now it's about minus 35. I actually do have the propane going with my wood stove just to try to keep the house warm enough. I don't mind the cold as much, but I have a 8-month-old baby, and I do not want him getting cold. So I got to keep the house extra warm right now. I hate burning the propane because it's so dang expensive to get it delivered up here. So I try not to use it as much as I can, but I was in town working and my wife left home and didn't have a fire going. So when I got home, the house is already pretty cold. So I turned up the propane and got a wood fire going at the same time. So try to warm that house up before they get home, because my wife and kids are probably going to be very cold because they are crazy and went skiing today, and it's very cold out there. It's one of those things where you do a couple runs, then you go inside the chalet to warm up, and then you go do a couple runs, then you go inside to warm up. Not my cup of tea. I actually used to be an avid snowboarder. Used to do, backflips, front flips, 720s, 1080s, hit all the rails. Used to do all of that. But now in my older age, the problem I have is when I go snowboarding, I still want to do all of that, and I physically can't. I had spinal surgery back in the fall, and so I'm thinking that maybe I got to switch to skiing. I'm thinking I need to take a step back, because when I'm on a snowboard, I still feel like I'm 17, and I am not 17 anymore. And so I think I got to give my ego a little pushback and switch to skiing so I'm not tempted to do the jumps, because I feel it. And your thoughts on igloos in general? So I'm actually a bigger proponent of what's called a Quincy hut. So an igloo is where you may take ice blocks, you stack them into a shelter. But a Quincy hut is easier to make and just as warm. So what a Quincy hut is, you make a giant pile of snow, let it sit for a couple days and compress, and then tunnel out the middle. And then you still have a shelter that you can make it as big as you want, and it's quite warm and enjoyable. I actually do plan to make a long-form video. Maybe I might make the Quincy hut this week and then post the video in 2 or 3 weeks. But I do want to make a video about Quincy huts, because they are fascinating. They are a lot of fun to make, and yeah, why not? Why not? And No Ego's throwing a star in the chat. How you doing, No Ego? Welcome back to the chat. And we are just hanging out, doing some dishes, chatting with you guys, and I'm repping my YouTube hat, and I've got a YouTube blanket in the background. We're just talking living in the cold north, living off grid, and ice fishing, actually. I've been having a lot of fun ice fishing lately. I normally can't stand ice fishing. I find it too slow, too boring. But I recently bought an ice fishing tent, and I found a really cool spot where I've been hammering giant fish. And so it's been a lot of fun. I've been taking my boys out with me. I try to get a little, an hour here, an hour there. Do you eat snow as long as it's not yellow? Don't eat yellow snow. That is something, that's a lifelong lesson. You can take that with you. Don't eat yellow snow. What kind of fish is available to you folks? So on the lake that I live on, so I live off grid and I'm on a lake. It's a peninsula. So my property is 156 acres. It's a peninsula. The water goes all the way around. The fish on this lake are walleye, perch, bass, pike, muskellunge, and crappie. And that's what's on this lake. There's another lake not far from here, about 20 minutes away, where there are trout. So you got like lake trout, brook trout, and rainbow trout. That's primarily the fishing we've got up here. If you check out my channel, look for the thumbnail of my last live stream, and you're going to see the thumbnail of a 30-inch walleye that we pulled out of the lake. My son caught it, and I helped him pull it out of the lake. It's a monster of a fish. Absolute monster. I generally don't go after the trout. I can also hit some of the bigger lakes and go for salmon. But I used to do a lot of salmon fishing when I was younger. But now, just time is such a precious commodity. I would rather go out there with my kids and catch, 10, 12 walleye than spend an entire day with the kids and maybe catch one salmon. So salmon are good, but they're a lot harder to catch, a little slower, that kind of fishing. Basically, the bigger the fish, the slower the fishing is. Walleye come in all different sizes. Typical keepers are around 14 inches. The biggest that I've seen is like 32 inches, and my son just last week caught a 30-inch, a 12-pound fish. Darlene, I see you there. How you doing? So yeah, like I said, the wife and kids are out at the ski hill, freezing their tails off, and we are just hanging out on the homestead. If anyone has any specific questions, feel free to ask. Of course, we are repping the YouTube merch gifted to us by YouTube, which was pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, personally, I don't want to get into making my own merch until I get to 10,000 subscribers. We're currently under 3,000. I'd like to get to 10. Do you drive a car to ice fish on the lake? I use a skidoo. Snowmobile? A snowmobile. Yeah, there's too much snow to use a car or an ATV. There is an ice road that is maintained at one of the close towns. And so people do ice fish along that road. But for me, I just skidoo where I'm going to go. And Carlos says, do you like Spam, the canned meat? I never eat it. So out here, I'm on a homestead, and I have access to fresh meat. I raise rabbits, chickens, ducks, goats, cows, pigs for meat, and then I've got donkeys for just the coolness of having donkeys. If you check out my last YouTube short, we took the donkeys for a walk in one of our trails that we made with the goats. And the donkeys are fantastic. I love the donkeys. They're great. They're great. There's a thing called skjorning or skjorning. Don't know if you pronounce the J or not. I'm going to guess you don't. But skjorning is where you tie a tether to your donkey and you go on skis behind it and you get them to pull you. And it's basically like cross-country skiing, but motorized by a donkey, and it looks like a lot of fun. So I'm thinking next year, you've got to start training them in like the spring. They got to get used to that pulling motion. I'm thinking that I might train them to pull a cart. I might make a custom cart for them to pull, and then train them to pull me on skis. Can they kick you? They can. So you want to stay just out of that kicking reach, but my donkeys have never kicked me. I got kind of kicked once when I was cleaning their hooves. I probably just hit a sensitive spot and it made her kick. Again, it hurt, but it wasn't a big deal. You just got to be very mindful about your positioning. Never put your face down near their back legs, because they are very powerful, and if they do kick, whether they want to or like on purpose or not, you don't want to feel it. I got calf kicked by my cow one time during a live stream. Actually, a coyote or a wolf scared my cow, and she kicked me. I tried to play it off on the live stream, and I had to end the live stream because my leg just started swelling up and I could barely walk. And then I went and had a bath. My leg just swelled right up and went purple. Just nasty. These are big animals and they're strong. You got to be careful. And so there's no barrier. You just stay just enough behind them that you don't get kicked. And Carlos says, do you can or preserve any fruits or vegetables? Yes. I actually up here have some stuff up here on the wall. I've got different herbs and mushrooms and spices, pumpkin seeds, stuff like that. Above my head, I have a bunch of birch water, like birch sap, before we boil it down. So birch water. We're going to do a big garden this year. So last year we didn't really do a garden. We just did a few small things, tomatoes, things like that. But we were really focused on the animals. This next year, I'm going to go big on the garden. Of course, I'm still developing, I'm building a second barn and all that fun stuff. But yeah, next year will be the year of the garden. And Soul just says, holy cow. Yeah, if you search my channel for I got kicked by a cow, you'll see the bruise on the back of my leg, and you'll see the moment it happened. I caught it on live stream. You don't see the kick itself, but you see me get kicked. I was very proud of myself for not swearing on live stream when she kicked me. It was aggressive, but she wasn't trying to attack me. It was just that she got spooked and I was too close to her. And when is your last freeze typically? My last freeze, like of the year, usually we're talking like May. Last year I was live streaming like May 14th and it was snowing. So it is still below zero in late May. If that's what you meant. We're almost done the dishes. Here's some of our chicken eggs. I'd probably still have to go collect some more, but yeah. Our chickens lay eggs all year round, which is fantastic. So that is always cool. If my wife and kids don't come home before I'm done the dishes, I will take you guys outside and show you guys the animals. I got to go put the donkeys away, collect any last minute eggs, and just put the goats away. I have a separate section of my barn that's heated. I've got just a heat pad in there and a baby monitor. And so I put my pregnant goats in there so that if they have their babies, I can hear it. So that is part of our plan, is to go outside and tuck everyone away. But we only have a couple more dishes and then we can do that. We can go outside. So let's quickly polish these off. If anyone has any other questions, concerns, I mean, by all means, I'm here to chat, so feel free to chat. Hester says, have you ever been headbutted by a goat? Once. So I got a new goat. Our newest goat, who we got in the spring, summer, Faye. She's a full-size goat. She's an Alpine Toggenburg. And she was 4 years old, and I swear she had never had her hooves trimmed before. And you need to trim goat hooves like every 2 months. And so they had never been trimmed. And I do it in a way that I put the goat in a harness and I hoist them to the roof of the barn. And then I do it while they're hanging. And that way I can control where their head is. They can't like kick or fight or run away from me. But she had never had it done before. And so she got me pretty good in the ribs. Gave me a back headbutt. Again, this was on live stream. And yeah, left a good bruise across my ribs. But beyond that, I've never had like a head to the knee. My goats are very lovely. They're very friendly. Even then, I wasn't even mad at her because it was just a foreign experience for her. She had never had that happen. She didn't know what was going on. It was just her natural instinct to pull away from me, and I happened to be right there. But yeah, otherwise, the goats are really friendly. They're really friendly. We're also, like I said, lucky with the donkeys. The donkeys, they're 2 girls. One of them is pregnant and will have a baby in the summer. But they are also very nice. I have not been injured by the donkeys yet. I say yet because I do put myself in some precarious positions sometimes. But they are very lovely. Very chill temperament. Okay, let's just rinse off these last dishes and then let's take a quick walk outside, guys. We're going to go outside and we're going to go see the donkeys and the goats and the cows, the ducks and the chickens. It's cold, but I'm going to take you with me. I'll keep you warm. I'll keep you warm, guys. And do you trade any homemade products? I do sell my eggs. So I do sell the eggs. We make a lot of homemade bread, that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the dairy, up here in Canada, there are some serious laws in place. It's arguably more illegal to sell people goat's milk than it is to sell them drugs. You can get in a lot of trouble for selling unpasteurized raw milk without having a dairy license. And so, as of right now, the dairy is all just for personal consumption. We make our own goat cheese, goat yogurt. We drink the milk, so we got goat milk. Right now, we don't have a huge surplus of goat milk. I'm only milking 1 goat right now. I am waiting for the others to have their babies, and then you got to wait like 12 weeks after they have their babies to start milking them. So they're not ready yet to be milked, but soon enough. Ah! I thought I was done the dishes and I just found another stack of plates. Okay, let's dry off these plates, just another stack of plates, and then we're going outside. We'll go check on the animals. Lily's been barking at something, and I know I heard coyotes last night, so she's probably just trying to scare them away. That's my guess. That is my guess. The barking sounds like it's coming from by the lake. One thing that I wish you could do more of up here, I always say this, but I don't know, I guess there's probably certain laws in place through our conservation, but I wish that we had an open fish market. I wish that like every Sunday or something downtown, you know, I'm thinking like when I've been in the States, you can go to places where if you catch fish, you can sell them to the market where they'll process the fish and then sell the meat. I wish we had something like that here. It'd be a lot of fun to take the kids out fishing and then, like a lemonade stand, right? It gives them incentive, go catch some fish and then sell the product at the market. Anything that they don't want to eat. Again, I get conservation. We've got rules about how many fish you can catch, how many you can keep. But you'd have to do some sort of maybe license or tag system to track how many fish you caught. But I think it'd be a fun opportunity. Not everyone has the ability to go out fishing, and so a lot of people want to have fresh fish instead of buying preserved grocery store fish. And up here in northern Canada, we have a lot of fish. So I feel like even if we had an open fish market, you couldn't deplete the lakes, even if you were catching and selling. Any shellfish near you? We've got crayfish, crawfish, crawdaddies. I've eaten them, but no lobsters, crabs, or anything like that. I'm inland, so I'm not on the ocean. I'm just on freshwater lakes. It would be cool. I love watching the YouTube videos of guys who, Red Librarian, I see you there. Good evening. I love watching the videos of guys snorkeling with spear guns and harpoons and stuff. The problem here, I am scuba dive certified. I do have equipment to scuba dive, but my lake is very muddy. It's very hard to see through. And so if I tried to spear gun fish in here, first off, it's not legal where I live. But even if it was, if I did try to do it, I couldn't see more than 3 feet in front of me. That's always one of the intimidating things when you're out swimming here. We have a type of fish called muskellunge, muskies, muskellunge. And muskellunge are typically like 5-6 feet long, full mouth of teeth. They look like little alligators. A muskellunge is a terrifying fish to look at. They're in our lakes. I've caught them, but because it's a muddy water lake or a murky bottom lake, you can't see. And so you'll be fishing in an area where maybe a week ago you were swimming, and you'll pull one of these 7 feet long fish out of the water, and you're like, man, I was swimming with this thing. It's terrifying. Ice Paw, how are you doing? I see you there. We are actually about to go outside and see the donkeys, goats, chickens, ducks, rabbits. I just wanted to do the dishes first, and then we're going to go outside and check on all the animals. So, very soon. And Lily is having a heyday barking. I'm thinking she's probably trying to chase away the coyotes, if I had to guess. Because she is just having a heyday out there, but she's not by the farm animals. She's out by the lake. So that's my guess. She's losing it because there's probably coyotes on the water. And Red Librarian says, Old Indian wise tale, dark water equals haunted waters. I mean, there are a lot of those. Is it wise tale or white? Why? I always thought it was wives' tale, like old wives' tale, like a tale that the wives, W-I-V-E-S, would say. Maybe it is wise tales, and I've been saying that wrong. Yeah, I could see it. And Carlos says, I wonder if they are related to alligator gar. Open another tab and Google musky fish. And Abby is your fave. How you doing, Abby? Long time no chat. I hope you are doing fantastic today. Abby is one of our OGs. So welcome to the chat, Abby. We are just finishing up some dishes, and then we are going to pop outside to go see the donkeys, cows, ducks, chickens, rabbits, etc. Before bed. So we got to go outside and just check on all the animals. I got to put the donkeys in the barn. You know what's funny? I put up this weather stripping on my barn, and the donkeys will not push through it. So I have to manually put the donkeys away every night. And I put it up there to keep them warm at night so that they wouldn't have a breeze passing through there. And the donkeys just can't stand it. They got used to it in the summer or the fall when there was no weather stripping. And now they just don't trust it. I feel like they think that it will jump out and bite them. So I got to manually hold the curtain open for them and guide them through. So we will see how that goes. Normally, and I probably will tonight, I use a halter. So I put on a harness over their head and I walk them on like a leash. And that's how I walk the donkeys. Just a couple more dishes, guys, and then we will go outside and see the farm animals. We'll collect any eggs that there are, because there should be a couple eggs. And then we need to, like I said, put the goats away, put the donkeys away, and just check on everyone. I had a scary experience on the homestead last week. I think it was last week. My wife sent me a text while I was at work saying, hey, I haven't seen Elsa, one of our goats. I haven't seen Elsa this afternoon. I don't know where she is. And I thought that was strange because Elsa has a mom, Faye, and Elsa never leaves Faye's side. Like, they're always together. And my wife was saying that Faye didn't seem upset. She wasn't like bawing or wondering where she was. And Faye, or Elsa, is not the kind of goat to run away. She stays close to the farm. And so I came home and I went looking for her. And I heard this very subtle baa sound over by the hay bales. And I went over there and it was louder. And I started digging in the pile of hay. And a chunk of hay had fallen down and landed on top of her. And she was stuck underneath it. And so I dug her out of there, checked her over, made sure that she had, no injuries or anything. And she was fine, but it's like she got cocooned in a pile of hay and just could not get out. And I guess the reason probably Faye wasn't upset, her mom, was because she knew she was there. She didn't know anything was wrong. And so she just wasn't upset because she was like, oh, I know where she is. She's just right there. She's playing in the food. But it was kind of scary. It was kind of scary. I didn't even think about that being a possibility. So I'm looking at getting some nets to wrap around my hay bales to stop that from happening again, because once you learn that something like that can happen, it's your responsibility as a farmer or homesteader to prevent it from happening again. So we will look at buying that so that we keep the animals healthy and happy. Okay, just got to rinse these dishes and then we're good to go outside. One more fork. That's it. And then we'll go check on all the animals. So like I said earlier, in the spring I plan to do about 7 or 8 pigs. We're going to get Yorkshire Tamworths. They are a hardier breed. They're better in the cold. Do you manage your own septic waste? Yes. I can call the company in to come pump it out, but I add chemicals down the septic, bacteria down the septic, to try to eat the toilet paper and stuff like that. So otherwise, it hasn't really been an issue. Just every couple of years, you call the company in and they come suck out anything that hasn't dissolved or turned into soil out of the holding tank. So yeah, up here, off-grid, septic, outhouse. It's not really a huge deal. I've had previous houses with septic tanks. The one thing that I need to do is this house here, the septic tank, the lid for it is buried underground. Like there's grass that grows over it, and so every couple of years you got to find the lid and dig it out. But you can buy like insulated extensions so that the grass doesn't go around it, so you can just open the lid without having to dig it out every few years. So I definitely need to get on that next time I go to pump it out. But it doesn't build up as fast as you'd think, as long as you're adding in the bacteria and stuff to eat away at your waste. Yeah. Who'd have thunk we'd be talking about poop? I also need to bring more wood in because it's super cold outside. And so I gotta grab more wood from the wood pile. Okay, that is the last of the dishes. We're just gonna set that down in the sink to dry. Let's just lay them out like so. And then we're gonna go outside. There we go. That was almost an hour and a half of doing dishes. But I don't think my wife had a chance to do them after lunch today. So there we go. Let's go for a little walk. I might lose you guys for a second. I'm going to switch you guys from Wi-Fi to cellular. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I switched you guys off. Let's grab our light. We're going to have to switch hats because it is cold out there and I don't want to lose an ear. So let's put you guys down right here. Let's get a jacket on, switch to our rabbit fur hat. Oh. And we're gonna go outside and see the farm animals and just see how everyone is doing. So we'll switch from our YouTube swag. Look at that crazy hair, wearing a hat all day. And switch to the rabbit fur hat. My gloves. I need my gloves, which are over by the fire, staying warm and dry. Fire. Then let's turn the light off. Probably got to start the generator as well. Like I said, I live off grid, so got to see how the power is doing. Got to check on that before bed because nothing is worse than getting woken up at 2 or 3 in the morning and you got no power. So we'll check on that as well. Turning off the lights behind me as I go. And we'll go see the goats, donkeys, rabbits, all that fun stuff. Put on a jacket. Trying to think what else I'll need. I'm not gonna milk a goat because I'm sure my wife did it during the day. I do need to bring the donkey halter. And I might as well bring out the wood bag so that I can bring in a couple loads of wood. Okay. So I think we'll go check on the cows, donkeys, and goats first. It's almost 8 p.m., so it's good enough time to tuck them away for the night. So let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna put my gloves on and we're gonna go outside and see the animals. I'll bring a light with me and let's turn brightness on this. Make sure we're all the way up. Okay, we're as bright as can be to go outside. And let's go for a walk. Hi, Lily. I'm gonna spin you guys around so you guys can see in front of me with this light on. Here's Lily. Hi, Lily. I will get you food after I'm done taking care of everyone else. Okay, girl? You're just vibrating with excitement right now. I'm going this way, Lil. Lower the tripod a little bit. Okay, here's some rabbits. Lily just jumped over here. Donkeys are over there. Close the gate behind me. Hey, donkeys. Hey, girls. I feel bad since it was 20 degrees here in Texas. It is about minus 25 out here right now. You can see my breath. I got to be careful where I breathe so you guys can. This is how cold it is, guys. I'm a dragon. Look how long my breath stays in the air. This is just my breath. Anyway, hey, Gabby. Hi, girls. You want me to put you away, don't you, girls? Come on. Here. See, I don't know if they'll come. Come on. Come on, girl. Oh, hello. Oh, you guys want to come out? Okay, I might have to halter the donkeys. Okay. I want to put you, Oreo, in this barn. Yeah, you know this is where you're sleeping. Okay, come on in. So we'll put the pregnant ones in here. Yeah, you can go too. You too. Oh, hey, be nice. Okay, you're out then. You're out. If you're gonna be mean, you're not pregnant, so you don't need to be in here. So the reason, hey Eric, how you doing? The reason I'm putting these goats in this separate barn is because I have this area tarped off with a heater. And so these ones are pregnant and they're gonna have their babies any day. I've been saying that for a while, but you can see how round she is. Like, them babies be in there. Them babies be in there. Same with her. And so this way, if they were to have their babies in here, I have a baby monitor set up on the roof. And so I'd be able to hear them bawling if they were to go into labor. And then I can run out here and come help them. When it's this cold, basically, as soon as they have their babies, I need to get them towel dried and in the house. So, yeah. And Eric says, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been doing? I'm good. The reason you haven't seen me too much is this is my breath coming past the screen. When it's minus 30 like this, it is so hard to be on live stream. It is nasty cold out here. Nasty cold out here. But hey, Faye. This is the one who got me with her horns when we first got her. I got a good little back end headbutt right in the ribs. So not her fault per se. I went to trim her hooves and she didn't know what I was doing. So she effectively tried to get me away. Okay, so let me just check in the barn and see how we're looking in here. Not bad. Just a little bit of poop I need to muck out of here. Hey, guys. Okay, they're all good. Those goats are good there. Oh, Gabby, you're so frosty. You got frost on your head. How's our water situation? Not frozen, so that's good. Hi, Gabby. Look how frosty my cow is. Poor girl. Hi. And Janice Gunter, how you doing? I see you there. Okay, Gabby, I love you, but you're fine. Hi, Maple. I put the other goats away, but I don't think you're, I don't think you're gonna have a baby anytime soon. One thing you gotta watch is, if you got any string that gets left behind here, you gotta get the twine out of here. I missed one. Just because the twine on the hay, if they ingest it, they can't digest it, and it'll obstruct their bowels. So you gotta try to get this all out of here. I missed a couple little pieces underneath the bale. It gets frozen to the bottoms, and so it's hard to get out of here, but you gotta pick it up as you see it. So anyway, here are the donkeys and a couple cows. Hi, girls. A couple goats as well. Brutally cold out here. We're gonna go check on the chickens and collect any eggs. I'm gonna grab the halters and come back for the donkeys to put them away for the night. Hey, Gab. Gabby thinks I'm out here with treats. Let's go see the chickens. Okay, let's go see if we can find some chickens. And we'll see the ducks as well. Oh. I gotta close them up for the night. Hey guys. So these are our ducks. Being very duckly. I almost fell, guys. Let's go see the chickens. I just gotta close and lock up their prison every night so that the foxes can't get in. Everything is so hard trying to feel the latches with gloves on. Okay, I gotta take my glove off, set you guys down so I can close this latch. There. Okay, now for, hi Lily, the chickens. Hello chickens. Is everyone feeling extra frosty in here? No new eggs, so my wife collected them before she went out. Okay, I need to close your guys' door, so I need to rake out over there. Okay, let's set this light down right there. How is that piece of plastic in here? There we go. And let's undo this rope. There you guys go. There. Okay, chickens. And Mike says hi. How you doing, Mike? And Eric says, how is Lily? Lily is doing fantastic. No complaints there. Oh, hello, chickens. So this is the insulated coop I built. Nice and luxurious for all the chickens. Quick head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They are all here. I always got to pay attention when I close them in for the night that they're actually all in. Because if any of them went out to the other side where that door is, I don't want them to freeze overnight. They need to be together for their body warmth. I'm going to close this door up because I don't want them to get too cold. So let's just lock the door back up. I left my light in there. Let's grab our light before the chickens don't need a light. Okay, they've got that light up there. And here's Lily. Hi, Lily. What had you worked up earlier? Are there some coyotes out on the lake, Lily? Any coyotes that we need to go eat? Come on, let's keep going. Keep going. Dropping twine all over the place. Never enough hands when you're on a homestead. Okay. And now we're going to go get the halters. And we're going to put the donkeys away for the night. Hi, Gabby. So we'll come back. What are you barking at? Are there coyotes? Something's got her just worked right up. The donkeys pooped in front of the gate. Classic donkey move. Okay, like I said, guys, everything is harder in the winter. Lily's losing her mind. Something's got her spooked. Moose antlers. Okay, we're gonna go put down the twine and grab the donkey halters. Oh. Okay, we're back. Whew. Set you guys down and flip you guys around. We're a little frosted up, but not bad. It's about minus 25 out there right now, so she's cold, but not crazy. And I see Lily. Yes, she's out there. And it's so hard to type on my phone. I hear you. I hear you. And Dawn, the man, how you doing, Dawn? Just got to, we're going to have to go and get the halters. I just had to put the twine down because I didn't want to carry that around with me. And we need the wood bag. So I'm going to need to bring in 2 loads of wood, and I got to go get the donkeys. So, and Dawn says, I'm doing very good in lovely Florida. I wish. It is so cold here. And Falcon says, happy to see you got the beard back. You know what? I shaved it and I hated it, so I had to grow it back. It's a little scraggly right now. It needs a trim, but you know, it's just not the same without a beard. What is the temperature? It's about minus 25. Minus 25. We're calling for some severe cold next week, so into the minus 40. It's going to be nasty. But let's flip you guys back around and let's go get these donkeys. So, wood stove. We're going to leave the other light behind because I need to use both hands here. So we'll leave the other spotlight behind. Urgh. Hi, Lily. And I haven't forgot about you. I'll go get you food next. Let me put the wood bag down. Let me set the wood bag down. Okay, Lily, I'm gonna go put the donkeys away. I'm not going to get you food yet. Let's go see the donkeys one more time. I gotta put the donkeys away for the night. The donkeys, they won't go through my weather stripping on their own. I have to hold it open and walk them in. It's kind of silly, but whatever. Hi, Gabby. Gabby is our Black Angus. She is pregnant, so I do expect a baby from her in the summer. And she is cold. Poor girl. Gabby, you know how to go into the barn. You can go in at any point in time. I got snagged on the gate. I got snagged. There we go. Okay, let me close the gate. Sorry, I got to use you guys as a flashlight because I can't see anything. Okay, and I dropped the halter. Okay. Okay, Gabby, I'm going to go put the donkeys away. And beard is the only way to go. Dawn, you know what's up. I shaved my beard and I looked like I was 18 again. And I hated it. Okay. Hello, Jenny. Hi, Georgia. I need to put a halter on you because I want to walk you into the barn. No, don't run away. Whoa, whoa. I know. You're like, I got the food all to myself and you want to put me away? Really, Dad? Yes. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on, girl. What? Sorry, I know you're not a big fan of the light in your face, so let's walk this way. And I love their names, Georgia and Ginny. Yes, this is Ginny and that's Georgia. Georgia is actually pregnant. We're going to be having a baby in the summer. Come on, girl. Let's go. I know you don't want to come, but come on. Come on. Let's go. Yep, good girl. You tell me where you want to go. You want to go this way? We're gonna walk around. Oh boy. I'll let you go whichever way you want, but our destination is the barn. So you gotta come this way. Just gently steering her. I'm not pulling her or dragging her because she's stronger than me, but she knows where we're going. Come on. Come on, we're going in here. Come on. Come on, girl. We're going into this barn. She's like, I want to go in the one with the heater. Not today. Hey. Come on. I know, there's a cow in the way. Good girl. Good girl. Never enough hands. Okay, settle. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, I need you to stop. And it's always a negotiation with a donkey. Okay, girl, let me take this off. I want to take your halter off because you don't need it. Okay, good girl. Hey, hey. Okay, that's one. That's one. So we got to go get the other one, but let me go say good girl. Hey. Hey, I know you don't like the light. You don't like it when I have a flashlight in here. It's okay. It's okay. You did good. You were brave. You came in here without Georgia. I'm gonna go get her. I'm gonna go get her and I'll bring her in, okay? You're a good girl. Oh, I know you don't like it when I took your head, but I gotta build that trust with you. Okay, let's go get the other one. That's one donkey put away. Hi, Lily. Let's go get the other donkey. Come on. Georgia. Oh, I heard that. You're making crazy noises, Georgia. Okay, I gotta get her on the halter and walk her into the barn. Don't you walk away from me. Are you going to the barn? You're like, don't put the halter on. I'll just go on my own. She says, I know where we're going. I know where we're going. You don't need to put that thing on my head. Do you need me to hold that open for you, though? I think you do. Here, girl. Oh, there. Right there. Go ahead. Good girl. Nice and brave. Good girl. I have no idea really why they don't like walking through the curtain. They absolutely can't stand it. But here they are. And those little goats sure are fat. They put on weight for the winter. The donkeys are nice and healthy. This is Georgia. Georgia is pregnant. She'll be having her baby in the summer. Ginny is behind her. She is not pregnant. So Georgia's the bigger one. Ginny beside. Hey, girls. So I like to tuck them away in here at night because I've got the weather stripping in the barn. There's no heat on this side of the barn, but they're hardy animals. They don't need the heat. The problem with donkeys is if it snows, they won't shake the snow off. And so they can get very cold if it starts snowing when it's really cold outside. So I like to tuck them in the barn with the rest of the animals. The cows push off a ton of heat. And so I like to tuck everyone in here at night. And Dawn says, so cute. Mark says, hi. Falcon says, dear old donkeys. And Angel says, they're beautiful. May I ask where you are located? I am up here in northern Canada. So you can see my breath in the air here. It's about minus 25 out, a little warmer in the barn, but it's about minus 25. It's cold. Let's go see the other animals. You girls did great. I need to go get wood for the wood stove yet. You did good, girls. You did good. Look at poor Gabby. Gabby's got frost on her face. Hi, Gabby. Hi. No, it's okay. Hi. I don't have any treats for you right now. Oh, I know you don't want me to pet you right now because you're like, my body's cold. Oh. You actually do want them stepping away like that. It's a show of dominance. She's submitting. When she walks away, it's her saying, I know, you're the boss. I'll back away. I'll back away. And she also knows I don't have any treats, so she's not excited by me right now. But yes, it is freezing cold out here. And Dawn says, I've got cold watching you to turn on my electric blanket, and it's only 55 Fahrenheit. 55 still chilly. And our friend with the, is it Chinese symbols, says, OMG, hi everyone, have a good day. Thank you. It is very cold out here. Poor Gabby. If you want to see some fat goats, I know someone mentioned that the goats are looking pretty plump. Look at these ones that I put away for the night. These ones are pregnant. Oh, they're all hiding. They're all hiding. Evie, Mimi. Anyone want to come say hi? Hello. Hi, Mimi. Hi, you guys are these ones are hanging out by the heat pad. And no, I am from Taiwan. Well, hello, friend. How would I say your name? These goats here, if they'll actually come out, I put a heater in here because these ones are pregnant. And so I want to keep them a little bit warmer. But they don't want to come out because they're like, we're good. We're hanging out by the heat. Okay, I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. Here are some of the other goats chilling over by the hay, having a feast. Oreo here, she's the one we're currently milking because she had her babies already, and we've already rehomed all of her babies. So we are milking her. And this is little Bast and Orion. Bast is actually one of her babies. And that's the dad right there. Obviously, I got a couple cows chilling here. More goats. These are our full-size goats. Elsa, so crazy thing about Elsa, the hay bales, when they were still standing, poor Elsa. So what happened was all the animals are feeding by the hay bales and Elsa was standing beside the bale and a cow must have knocked like a quarter of the bale over. We're talking big 1,500-pound bales of hay. And the pile of hay landed on top of her, trapping her underneath it. And my wife sent me a text saying, hey, I haven't seen Elsa for a little while. Can you go look for her? And it's not like her to go anywhere. She's always by her mom. There's Faye. And so I came out and I could hear this very quiet baaing noise over by the food. And I went and started digging and she was buried underneath a pile of hay. She was fine. It was kind of like a little cocoon around her, but she couldn't push her way out. She was just stuck. And so I had to dig her out and she was fine. I checked her for injuries. She's good. But it was scary. I didn't even think that was an option. So I am glad that she is okay now. It was funny, when I saved her, she's a little bit skittish to people. Like, she's not scared, but she certainly isn't like the other ones. Like, she'll walk away when you go to pet her. And that first day when I saved her, she just wanted to snuggle so bad. And my wife is like, I think something's wrong with her. I think she's got an internal injury. I'm like, why? She's like, because she never snuggles and she just wants to snuggle. I'm like, she's just glad to be alive. Her life flashed before her eyes while she was under that hay bale. Now, Mama Faye, on the other hand, she's very friendly. She likes to be pet. Oh, don't run away. You're disproving my point, girl. She just wants food right now. Oh boy, what do we got going on? Bobby? Okay, we need to now, we need to put this away and we need to go get some food for Lily. So let's grab our knife and get some food. Lily eats a whole meat diet. I feed her real meat, so we're gonna give her some chicken breasts. And we'll see what else. So let's sneak our way around. Gotta close the gate. That's where my other pitchfork is. I was wondering where that one went. Let's dig that out of here for a second. Stand that up. Okay. And Angel says, have a great night. Try to keep warm, buddy. Thank you, Angel. I will do my best. I think I'm starting to frost up in the beard a little bit. It's a cold one. So we need to grab our knife so we can go open some food for Lily. This is the knife I use. It's lovely. It's a great bushcraft survival knife. This guy here. Nice knife. Lily! Come here, Lil. I don't know where Lily went. Snow is beautiful, but I couldn't live in it. It is quite chilly out here. Lots of snow. It's very cold. It's about minus 25 degrees. There's Lily. I see your eyeballs glowing at me. Hi, Lily. Come on, let's get some food. I keep Lily's food in a freezer that I've got out here because I feed her whole meat. And so let's go get her some healthy food. This is how I feed my dog, guys. She lives like a queen. Maybe she'd prefer it thawed, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So, $10 pack of chicken. Okay, Lily, I'm gonna face the camera towards you, girl. And Hester says, thanks for showing us the animals. Anytime, Hester. It's so much harder to live stream out here in the cold. David, how you doing, David? I see you there. We're just out here chilling with the animals. And here's some chicken for Lily. Oh, we're gonna give her a little more than just the chicken though. And Sweet Skull says, Lily is beautiful. Yes, she's a healthy doggo. She's eating some whole chicken, and now let's see what else I got. Let's give her some ground beef as well. We'll give her some ground beef. That's not ground beef. What am I looking at? That's chicken thighs. That's not what I want to give her. That's not what I want to give her, and that looks bad, I think. I don't think I want to give her that one. Here we go. Some ground beef. A little bit of ground beef. Okay, Lily, there you are. And Sweet Skull says, I love her. Well, there is Lily. You know, someone got mad at me for feeding my dog whole meat one time. I fed her a pack of chicken, a pack of pork, and then a couple hot dogs. And someone got mad saying I was feeding my dog unhealthy. And I'm like, okay, hot dogs might not be the most healthy thing, but like, how can you get mad at someone for feeding their dog like whole meats? Lily gets to eat like a queen. And Shawnee Grows in the chat. Guys, go check out Shawnee Grows YouTube channel. Shawnee makes some fantastic gardening content, and despite it being winter here, there's still some things you can learn. So go check out Shawnee Grows on YouTube. And anyone else here in the chat, I see we got a few people watching. If any of you guys have a YouTube channel of your own, feel free to comment in the comment section. Tell us about it. And also, if anyone has any questions, concerns, any plans for the week, let me know. And Mr. says, in the wild, dogs would eat raw meat. Yes, and Lily is basically a wild dog. Here you go, Lily. Okay, you got some chicken and some ground beef. I'm counting on you to eat it, Lily, because if you don't, the coyotes are going to come in, and I don't want to deal with the coyotes. So you got to eat all that. And at least cook for her. She doesn't mind it raw. Look at her, man. Look how healthy she is. She doesn't need me to cook it. It's frozen. It's good. She might prefer it not as cold on her teeth, but she doesn't seem to mind. I feel like sometimes we project our human emotions on our animals, and we assume because we don't want to eat frozen meat that she doesn't. But she's also comes from the heritage of wolves. And, you know, as much as their meat is warm when there's a fresh kill, they will spend a week picking out a dead carcass that's frozen. And I think she is doing okay as far as health goes. She is a pretty dog. I do mix in some kibble for her, some high quality kibble, but mostly she's on a whole meat diet. And there's wild dogs in Africa and they eat meat. And Shawnee says, woohoo, grow every day in every way. Guys, if anyone here has a YouTube channel and wants to talk YouTube, by all means. Okay, Lily, I'm going to leave you here. You eat. And I got to put my knife away and go get some wood for the wood stove. Because I don't know, guys. How frosty is my beard looking? Am I starting to frost up? I can't tell. I think I am. It is cold out here. I've been doing lots of ice fishing with the Skidoo lately. Lots of ice fishing. Got my pull behind sled. The other day, my son caught a 30-inch, 12-pound walleye. The thing was an absolute unit. Oh, I just got some snow in my boot. It's gonna be a cold foot. And Patricia says she should be having some vegetables in there. Though the veterinarian would tell you, I'm not saying nothing bad about you. But the way you feed your dog, I'm just telling you what I know. So I was saying I do feed her some kibble as well. And that's to get her some of that extra nutrients that she's not getting from just meat. Let me put the knife away and then grab wood. So yeah, I do feed her a little bit of kibble every week as well. But she's mostly on a whole meat diet. Okay, I'll put the knife beside our nice YouTube hat. And let's go get some wood. Let's go get some wood, guys. And then we'll sit down inside by the wood fire and enjoy it for a second and just chat and chill and hang out. Okay, got to go down here to get wood. We've already used up all this wood. The winter is long and cold. I do have more wood here that I have to buck up still. But I gotta dig out some wood from the totes. And you're wearing jeans? It must be warm today. It's minus 25. You get used to it up here. So it is cold. It's minus 25 degrees, maybe a little colder, but you do get used to it. People are always shocked. Like, you know, the coldest I've live streamed, the coldest I've live streamed was minus 30, I think, minus 35. And it's just something you get used to. I need to, next year, I'm building proper wood storage. So the problem with doing what I'm doing is your wood gets snow on it and it gets wet. And when it gets wet, it produces more creosote, which is going to create a higher fire hazard on your wood stove ware up there, chimney pipe right there. And so you want to be burning dry wood. So this is not an ideal, digging your wood out of the snow is not ideal. But contrary to popular belief, you know, when you're watching certain television shows or survival shows, they'll talk about how if you don't have wood shelter, you're gonna die. You can't burn your wood. You're not gonna survive the winter. That's not true. It just means you gotta climb up on the roof in the middle of the winter and clean your stove. Doesn't mean you're gonna die. But next year when I build my second barn, I'm building a section for wood storage. That way I don't have to be digging in the snow to get my wood. And then it will burn better if it's not wet. There are some days where it is hard to get that fire going when you're dealing with wet wood. Oh. I always try to bang it off. Okay. That's pretty good for this load. We'll bring this wood inside and we'll go sit by the fire and chat for a second. So bear with me as I try to pick this up with the tripod here. Okay, let's go warm up for a little bit by the wood stove and I'll get another load before bed. But not yet. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. Oh, how do I look? Frosty? Not bad. It's not as frosty as I thought I'd be. A little icy, but that'll melt. Oh, chilly out there. That tells you. He's cold out there. My phone is fogging up, but we'll fix that here in a second. Okay. Rabbit hat comes off, and all of a sudden, just like that, we're a YouTuber. Gotta defog my phone because the camera's looking a little bit rough. And I think it was 82 degrees last week. Holy man. Yeah, it's cold here. Okay. We gotta get this wood fire going. I cleaned it earlier, so it's pretty, but it's, I gotta, bear with me guys, try not to show my midriff. Have to thaw out the camera because it's, she's cold. Okay, let's get a wood fire going. Let's go grab some wood and throw it in there. Okay, I always love when I get an opportunity to clean the glass because it is so pretty when you can just look right inside the wood stove and not have to deal with all the soot. Like a true Canadian, we just wear a leather glove and shove our whole arm right in there. The amount of burns I've had on my forearms is insane. I got myself the other day by doing this. Okay, we'll leave that cracked open to try to give that a chance to catch better. But do I still have a mark? I don't even think I have a mark from that last time I burnt myself. No, I look pretty good. I caught my forearm the other day, just right here, but you probably can't even tell. Oh boy, you probably can't even see just this little red line right there. But I doubt you can even see it. Anyway, I digress. You know what we're gonna do, guys? YouTube sent me a blanket, and it's lovely. And we're gonna put on our blanket and chill by the fire for a second. YouTube blanket. Guys, you know what makes you feel like a real YouTuber? Okay, we're gonna sit right in front of the fire. Set that blanket down, move this over. Okay, what makes you feel like a real YouTuber? It's not having, you know, 1 million views on the channel. It's not the 3,000 subscribers. It's YouTube sending you a hat and a blanket. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know YouTube would send me a hat and a blanket, but we are repping. Oh, if I can find a way to show off the logo. Got that YouTube blanket. I think YouTube said, you know, up there in Canada, it's pretty cold. Let's warm you up with a YouTube blanket hanging out by the fire. So, there you guys go. We just got back from the donkeys, the cows. I like to tuck those animals away at night. The donkeys won't come in and out of the barn on their own. They need me to put them in. They're more than willing to go in when I do put them in, but they need me to put them in. Let's play with this light for a second and get a better glow going. I'm like a dinosaur trying to figure out what buttons to click. It could be purple. It's like a black light. We'll keep it on that one. So, yeah, the donkeys need help putting away. The goats, I like to put in the pregnant goats. I put in the heated side of the barn just because I have a baby monitor in there, and that way I can hear if they go into labor. Chickens and ducks, they're pretty good. The ducks are hardier than the chickens. They don't need an insulated shelter. They just need 4-sided cover. The chickens, they're in a fully insulated build. I built that one in the fall, so they are good to go. Lily's good. She's acclimatized to the cold. She does have a doghouse, and she can go into the barn with the other animals. And Dawn says at least they were thoughtful about it. YouTube, yeah, I do like some YouTube swag. I'm gonna change this light mode because it's flickering. We'll just go here and we'll turn that down. I got this light for Christmas, and so I like to play with it. Try to pump some oxygen in there to get that fire going. So yeah, I'm burning birch wood right now. It's one of the harder hardwoods we have. The hardest we have is black ash, but it's pretty rare. It's hard to find, and you're not allowed to transport it off your property because it can have like a black ash beetle, which is I guess it's a harmful beetle that eats a lot of wood. So you're not allowed to transport it away from your property. I did use some on my kitchen table because it's a very hard hardwood. When I built this kitchen table, I used it as some underrunners to support the overhang. So that piece of wood underneath there is actually black ash that I harvested. And so we milled that down. And then, that stuff burns like crazy, but it's hard to find. So birch is really, really easy to find around here. And so that's my overnight wood. It lasts about 3 hours. So about every 3 hours, I got to wake up and put more wood in the wood stove. So I do that every night. I get up usually around 11 at night, then about 2 in the morning, and then I'm good till about 4 or 5 a.m. when I wake up for the morning. And Freshly Wild is in the chat, says, "Sup, Justin? I heard Canada could be a lot colder. It's about minus 25 here right now. It's supposed to warm up tomorrow and the next day, and then it is plummeting. We're going to get down to about those minus 40 degrees. I see you, Lily." Lily wants to be in the chat. Lily, no. There were some coyotes out on the lake yesterday, so Lily's a little bit agitated. But she's fed, warm enough. And Freshly Wild dropping some of those custom emojis in the chat. Freshly, you like my YouTube hat and YouTube blanket? I'm in a program with YouTube called the Community Partner Program, and as part of the Community Partner Program, they send us some free swag. Grace says, "Do you give her a haircut?" No, I let Lily's hair just grow in full. I let her winter mane come in. I brush her in the summer, but she's a yellow lab golden retriever. I kind of let nature do nature. She's an outside dog, so she just sheds off her winter coat in the summer, and then in the winter grows it back. But very little maintenance required that way. And Kermudge In says, "Hey brother, we are at 17 degrees Fahrenheit with 12 to 24 inches between now and Friday night." Robert, we're about to warm up as well. I'm at minus 25 degrees Celsius right now. What's that? Like minus 5 Fahrenheit? Somewhere minus 10? It's around minus 10 Fahrenheit right now. But we're going to get up to around that 14, 15 degrees tomorrow and the next day. And then it's plummeting right down. We're getting down to around minus 40 next week. So it's cold out here, but we don't have the snow you're getting. That's the one nice thing. The one nice thing about severe cold, it doesn't snow when it's really, really cold. It's just, there's no moisture in the air because it's too cold. And Dragon says, "Mix the birch with oak, ash, or beechwood. It lasts longer if it's available." What's happening? How you doing? Up here, really all I have is pine, birch, and aspen. Aspen is also a hardwood. Burns a long time, but you got to season it for like 2 years. That stuff holds water like no tomorrow. It takes a long time to dry aspen. And Grace says, "Can we see her? I bet she would love to go to the groomer." She actually looks fantastic. I'll show you, Lily. She's an outside dog on a whole meat diet, so she's doing fantastic. We'll call her in for a second. Lily! Oh, hello, Lily. This is Lily. This is Lily, and I don't think she needs a groomer. I think she's beautiful. Isn't that right, Lily? Are you beautiful? Are you beautiful? Hello? She's like, "Thank you. The coyotes are coming in." Lily is an outdoor dog, so I don't want to warm her up too much because then she'll catch a chill. But yes, this is Lily. This is Lily, and she is wonderful and fantastic. And she is very, very pretty. Very pretty. She's got a very nice coat. Isn't that right, Lily? Isn't that right? The internet says hello. The internet says hello. And Dragon says, "LOL, coyotes." Yeah, I don't need a coyote getting her pregnant. No time for that. And do you like horse? I actually have a couple donkeys. If you rewind this live stream, we were just out with the donkeys not long ago. We just came from out in the farm. And where does Lily sleep? Depends if she wants to sleep. She either sleeps under the house, in her dog house, or in the barn. Depends if she wants to be alone or with the other animals. What are you doing? Why are you hugging me? Why are you hugging me? And where are you from, brother? We are in northern Canada. Northern Canada. And Kermudgeon says, "But do you have a dragon to go with that donkey?" I got a Dragon 00 in the chat. And Don, I did used to have lizards. When I didn't live off-grid, when I lived in the city, I had a couple lizards. But when I moved out here, I had to rehome the lizards because I wasn't going to waste my energy on a heat lamp for lizards when you know, I live off grid. You know all about that, Rob. You don't have time to waste your energy on recreational animals like lizards and fish when you're living off grid. And she's like, dinner was cold. Can I stay in for a little while? Oh yeah, she's loving the fire. We got the fire going behind us here. Oh yes, Lily. And does Lily have a shed, I suppose? It's like a doghouse. It's a small little building. Small little building. It's insulated. And do you ride horses? I don't. My son has done horse riding lessons, one of my sons. But I do take the donkeys for rides. The donkeys for rides. I take the kids for rides on the donkeys. And Curmudgeon says, hell no, I grumble heating the chickens' water. Yeah, the only heated water I do is for the cows, donkeys, and goats. The chickens and the ducks, I haul water every day for them. And same with the rabbits. I use a hand pump and I pump it from the heated water over into pails, and then I pour it in every day. It's a pain in the butt. And Dawn says, I love you. I'm speaking for Lily. And OMG, Lily up close is a different experience. She is gorgeous. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's being very needy right now. Are you being needy? Do you like attention? Hi, Lily. Say hello to the camera. Say hello. Hello. Okay, you just want my arm. Do I taste good? She wants the head pats. She's being very needy. And Pablo says, hola, soy Pablo Munoz from Chile. Saludos, amigo. Saludos, amigo. How are you doing tonight? This is our friend Pablos from Chile. And Robert says, we are ordering a new diesel generator this week. My gasser is having issues and I cannot find the parts I need for the other diesel I have. I will still fix it and then have two. Yeah, I have a backup gas generator. So my main diesel generator, it definitely has some issues. It caught fire in the summer, and basically I got a split in one of the diesel hoses, and it was spraying a mist of diesel all over the generator, and then that caught combustion. And thankfully, my wife saw the smoke billowing out of the garage, so we got that under control really, really fast. But it did melt a bunch of the seals in the head gaskets. And so now that thing eats oil. And so I got to put oil in every time I fire up the generator. So that's a hassle. So I did buy, that's a 20 kilowatt generator. So I did buy a 15 kilowatt backup generator that's gas powered, just in case. There's been a couple times where when it's cold, I can't get the diesel to start. And so then I just fire up the gas one instead. And why did you leave the city? The main reason I left the city was for self-sufficiency, and I like to think of myself as a bit of a doomsday prepper. I actually got laser eye surgery done 3 years ago because I used to have glasses, and I was getting a little nervous when that whole Russia-Ukraine war started, that if I had to survive and I broke my glasses, I wouldn't be able to survive very long. And then living in the city, I was thinking the same thing. So I sold my house in the city, moved off-grid, and got rid of my glasses. So I think of it as a bit of a prepping mentality. And Robert, how you doing, Robert? And your dog wants you to pet him. Her name's Lily. Yes, she's being extremely needy. If I stop, she's pawing at me. And Rob says, yeah, I heat my gen building, so I do not have to worry about the hoses having issues. Yeah, I've got a propane heater in there, but the propane company disconnected it because it's not legal. And so they disconnected it, and I can just go and reconnect it in between them filling. I just haven't got the fittings for it. They disconnected it and took away my regulator, so I currently can't use it. Buggers. So I do need to redo that at some point. And Dragon says, you ever come across a polar bear? Up here where I am, I just have black bears. Robert says, where are you? In a cabin? So this is my off-grid house. It was a cabin. It was a 3-season cabin. I stripped it down to the studs, insulated the whole thing, and made it 4 seasons. Put an addition on it, added a bathroom and a bedroom. Had ripped out all the water lines because my first year they froze. So I had to dig those all deeper, replace all my water lines in my well pump. Yeah. So I turned a cabin into a house, and I do plan to build a bigger house here. Ah, Lily! Why are you so needy? So I do plan to build a bigger house out here. Lily, you're killing me with your love. Your paws hurt. And how long have you lived in Canada? I've lived in Canada my whole life. I've only lived off grid for 3 years. And Kermudge In says, I use the diesel heaters you can buy online. It works great. 1.35 gallons in 50 hours. Nice. I did recently buy a diesel heater off of Amazon, a Chinese one. I was using that when I was working on my skid steer because I had to replace the starter in my skid steer and it broke down outside. So I had to tear it apart outside and it was freezing cold. So I bought that diesel heater so that I could do that. And I do plan to run that in the gen room when it gets a little colder. I think I'll be able to start it tonight, no problem. But next week when it gets down to minus 35, I'm going to have to run the diesel heater, I'm sure. At least for an hour or two just to warm it up before I try to start it. And James says, evening. How you doing, James? I'm just getting mauled to death by my dog over here. Blasting a light in everyone's face. What are you doing? Get off of me! Arrgh. I'm getting attacked by a wolf. Why are you being so needy? And what's up with your dog? More needy than my girlfriend. I know. She's just mauling me to death. Hey, get. She's like, she needs so much love right now. Lily, I'm gonna put you back outside. My hands are getting all slobbered. I'm gonna put you back outside, you little doggy. And oh yeah, there are wolves and wolverines up there. Yes, the wolves and coyotes are a big concern. I heard the coyotes on the lake last night when I went out ice fishing. That's my cue, guys. My kids just arrived home, so it is time for me to say goodbye because I don't live stream when my kids are home. Hi, Malachi. I love you, buddy. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk again soon. Till next time, stay wild.